Hey folks, have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, man, why am I even bending over for this? It's just a penny. Well, guess what? You might want to start looking a little closer, because that boring little copper coin could actually be worth more than your car, your house, and possibly your in-laws combined. Today we're diving into the mysterious and surprisingly wealthy world of the 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And know this isn't some coin fairy tale. This little beauty has fetched a jaw-dropping $1.1 million in today's market. You're out here trying to scrape together change for a vending machine, and someone just sold a penny for the price of a beachfront condo. Before you start ransacking your piggy bank, let's talk about why this penny is such a big deal, what makes it worth so much, and how you can spot one too. And I'll even share a little story about how I accidentally threw away a valuable coin once because, yes, apparently I enjoy emotional damage. Alright, so what exactly is this 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, it's part of the Lincoln Wheat Cents series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These pennies are called wheat cents because they have those two wheat stalks on the reverse side looking like the coin version of eyebrows. A mint mark tells you where a coin was made. In 1949, pennies were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But if your penny doesn't have a little letter underneath the date, that means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Most 1949 Philly pennies are worth only a few cents, maybe a buck if it's in good shape. So why on earth is this one worth over $1 million? The $1 million 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just your run-of-the-mill coin. This baby is rare because of a few things. This coin was found in almost perfect shape, like it had Botox and a spa treatment. Since 1949, it has an extremely rare die error, which means something went wrong when the coin was being made. Think of it like a coin with a birthmark that makes it more special and valuable. Some of these errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or even misprints in the lettering. Collectors drool over this stuff. It's like Pokemon cards for grown-ups who wear magnifying glasses. Now, I promised you a story, so buckle up. A couple of years ago, I was going through this old jar of change, you know, the kind we all have collecting. Dusty found this beat-up looking penny from 1949 no-mint mark. He laughed and tossed it into the Coinstar machine, thinking, meh, probably worth exactly 1 cent. I am watching this video just like the one you're watching now, and the guy says, check your 1949 no-mint mark pennies, they could be worth a fortune. Cue dramatic slow motion flashback, me standing at the Coinstar, pennies clinking down, regret entering my soul like a cold wind in December. To this day I have no idea if that penny was worth 1 cent or 1 million, but lesson learned: always check your coins. So how can you spot one of these magic pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass or just use the zoom on your phone like the rest of us lazy humans. Look for a no-mint mark under the date, crisp clear detail on Lincoln's face and hair, strong wheat stalks on the back. Any unusual errors like doubling odd letters or a lopsided strike, if it looks shiny like it just came out of a time machine, you might want to get it professionally graded. A grading company will give it a number like MS65 or MS67. The higher the grade, the fatter your wallet could get. If you have a 1949 no-mint mark penny in average condition, you're looking at maybe 10 to 50 cents if it's uncirculated, but nothing too special. It could bring $10 to $50. But the superstars, those with perfect condition and rare errors, that's where you get into the thousands, and one lucky devil out there got one valued at $1.1 million. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing. Here's how to increase your chances of striking copper gold. Go through your old change jars, ask your grandma if she has any coin jars from the 40s and 50s. Check estate sales, flea markets, and garage sales. Roll hunt, which is where you get rolls of pennies from the bank and search through them. Don't ignore that penny on the sidewalk, it could literally be the $1 million kind. Just remember, patience is key. You probably won't find one today or tomorrow, but who knows, maybe next week you'll be holding history in your hand. The 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might look like just another coin, but under the right conditions, it could be worth more than your dream car. If it has no mint mark, is in near perfect shape, and features a rare error, you could be staring at $1 million baby. Are you gonna check your pockets after this video? Because I sure hope so. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more tips on spotting valuable coins, flipping coins for profit, or just hearing more of my tragic coin blunders, then hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Ring that bell so you don't miss any future uploads, and leave a comment below if you've ever found an unusual penny. Remember, your next $1 million find might be hiding in your couch cushion, so keep hunting, keep collecting, and most importantly, never underestimate a penny. Hey coin hunters, what's up? Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into pure treasure, and today we're diving deep into a small copper coin that could make you a millionaire. That's right folks, we're talking about the 1973 Lincoln penny. Yep, that little reddish-brown coin you probably tossed in a couch cushion or dropped under your car seat might just be worth a jaw-dropping $12 million. Let me ask you this: have you ever bent down to pick up a penny off the street and thought, hey, it's just a penny? Well, after today, you'll be picking up every penny like it's coated in gold because one 1973 D Lincoln penny actually sold for over $1 million, and we're gonna break down exactly why, what to look for, and how you might already have one sitting in a dusty old coin jar somewhere. A few years back, I was cleaning out my late uncle's attic and found this old cigar box full of coins. Now, I'm not talking pirate treasure here, just your average everyday pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, but one coin caught my eye, a 1973 D penny. It looked different, shiny but old, like that one guy at work who still wears cologne from the 80s. I held onto it and forgot about it until I started researching rare coins, and lo and behold, turns out that date and mint mark combo could be worth a small fortune. So today we're going full detective mode on the 1973 D Lincoln penny. I'm talking mint marks, double dies, rare errors, and more. Plus, I'll tell you the secret features that separate a common penny from a one-of-a-kind jackpot. Alright, so first things first, why is this little copper coin from 1973 so darn valuable? The short answer: rarity, condition, and errors. Let's break it down. The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver, and in 1973 the Denver Mint struck over 3 billion pennies, yeah, billion with a B. So why would one be worth over $1 million? Because not all pennies are created equal, my friend. See, most of those billions were used up, spent, beat up, chewed on by toddlers, and swallowed by couch cushions, but there are a few that slipped through the cracks in pristine condition, or better yet, had something wrong with them when they were made. Sounds backwards, right? But in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are money. Segment 2: types of valuable errors on the 1973 D penny. Let's talk about error coins. Think of it like winning the lottery, but the ticket was printed upside down. Here are a few key errors that could make your 1973 D penny worth serious cash. First up, double dies. That's when the coin is struck twice but not perfectly aligned, so you see ghost-like outlines, especially in the words Liberty or the date. You might see doubling in Abe's eyes too, which makes him look extra judgmental. Second, off-center strikes. These happen when the coin isn't centered properly. When it's struck, you'll see parts of the design missing, like someone sneezed while making it, and boom, instant rarity. Third, wrong planchet errors. This is when the coin was struck on a blank meant for a different coin, like a dime or a foreign coin. Now that's some real mint mischief, and collectors go bananas for it. Oh, and let's not forget about high-grade coins. A regular 1973 D penny in MS-67 condition, meaning mint state and practically flawless, recently went for over $1 million because it was the best example known to exist, the only one like it. Think of it like the Beyonce of pennies. So now you're probably wondering, alright, how do I know if I've got the moneymaker? Here's what to check. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone camera and look for an off-center strike. Even just a little could boost value. Weird weight: if it feels lighter or heavier than normal, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. If you find one of these, pop that baby into a coin sleeve and do not clean it. Seriously, don't. You might think you're helping, but cleaning a coin is like giving it a chemical peel. It ruins the value faster than you can say numismatist. So let's talk dollars and cents, or rather dollars and thousands of dollars. Most circulated 1973 D pennies are worth, well, 1 cent, maybe a couple bucks if they're in nice condition, but if you find a rare error or a top-grade specimen, you're looking at thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. And yes, in one confirmed case, $12 million. The market for rare coins is kinda like eBay on steroids. Collectors will pay top dollar for the right combination of rarity, condition, and eye appeal, and if you've got a unicorn penny, it could change your life. Now let me tell you about Kyle. Yeah, Kyle was just a college student who found an old jar of coins in his grandpa's shed. You know, one of those rusty peanut butter jars from the 70s. He starts going through them and boom, finds a 1973 D penny with a weird doubling on the date. He lists it online for fun, gets it graded, and ends up selling it for over $800K. No joke, dude used the money to pay off student loans, buy a pizza place, and now he's a full-time coin hunter and part-time mozzarella stick enthusiast. Moral of the story: your spare change could be worth more than your car, house, or your weird NFT collection. We started with a little copper coin and ended up in $1 million territory. The 1973 D Lincoln penny might look plain, but it's got the potential to blow your mind and your bank account. Whether it's a freak mint error or the most flawless penny to ever leave Denver, keep your eyes peeled every time you get change. And hey, remember that story I told at the start? Yeah, I still have that coin from my uncle's attic. It wasn't the $1 million one, but it sparked this whole journey, and who knows what's next. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's a treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button like it owes you money, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coins worth money. We're talking secrets the pros don't tell you, how to spot rare coins in your pocket change, and the strategies you can use to grow your collection and maybe your bank account. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird penny, or if you're about to go dig through your couch cushions. I want to hear your stories. Alright, stop scrolling and listen, because what if I told you there's a tiny copper coin out there sitting in your junk drawer or couch cushions worth more than a Lamborghini? No joke. Today we're diving into the story of the 1992 D Lincoln penny that's making collectors foam at the mouth. Yup, one single penny that looks just like every other boring old penny is now worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. And no, you don't need a time machine or a pirate map to find treasure. It could literally be in your pocket, so stick around because we're going full coin detective on this. Plus I've got a hilarious story about how I almost threw one of these exact pennies into a vending machine for a bag of chips. True story, and I still have nightmares. Okay, so here's the scoop. The 1992 D penny looks like your average penny on the outside. It's got Honest Abe sitting there all majestic doing his Lincoln thing. It says, "In God we trust," like always, and it's got that little D mint mark, which means it was made in Denver. Nothing wild so far, right? But here's where the coin world goes full plot twist. Some of the 1992 D pennies were accidentally minted using a special reverse design. That's the tail side for anyone who still calls it heads and tails. This reverse is known as the close AM variety. Normally in pennies from that year the letters A and M in America are spaced out, but in these rare ones they're practically snuggling super close together like they're dating or something. This was a mistake. The mint accidentally used a proof die to make regular circulation coins. Translation: they used the wrong equipment, which turned out to be $1 million. Oops, let me hit you with some numbers so you realize how rare this is. Only a handful of these 1992 D close AM pennies are known to exist. We're talking single digits. You've got a better chance of finding a needle in a haystack than one of these in your change jar. But hey, people do win the lottery, so why not you? In 2012 one of these beauties sold for over $20,000. And the price has just kept going up like a Tesla stock. Now in 2025 the market value is sitting at a cool $1.3 million for a pristine MS68 specimen. That's a whole house, or like 1.3 million bags of chips, whichever you value more. Now here's the part where everyone pauses the video and runs to their coin jars. I get it, but let me walk you through what to look for. First, grab a magnifying glass or zoom in on your phone camera, flip the penny over and look at the word America. If the A and the M are basically touching, like they're sharing deodorant close, then you might have the rare close AM variety. Next, check for the mint mark. It's gotta be a Dino Pino. It's just that clean little D right under the date. Also check the overall condition. If your penny looks like it got chewed by a lawnmower, it's probably not gonna fetch $1 million, but if it's clean, crisp, shiny and uncirculated, you might just be sitting on a golden copper ticket. So picture this, a younger me back in the day with zero coin knowledge and a serious craving for sour cream and onion chips. I am digging through my backpack, find some loose change. Boom, I spot a shiny 1992 D penny. Didn't think twice, I slid that sucker into the vending machine without even blinking. But just as the machine sucked it in, me buddy, who's a hardcore coin nerd, screams, "Wait, AM!" Like, chill bro, it's just a penny. He goes, "No, that was a 1992 with a close AM." I am like, "Oh what?" Now we spent the next 20 minutes trying to shake the machine like it owed us money. Long story short, the chips were delicious, but I possibly lost $1 million coin. Lesson learned: always check your change. You know what's wild? Coin collecting might be the most underrated money-making hobby out there. It's like treasure hunting, but you don't need a shovel, just some knowledge and decent lighting. People are finding rare coins and rolls from the bank at face value, 10 cents turning into 10,000 pennies, turning into limbo cash. You don't need a big budget, just some patience and a sharp eye. And let's be honest, it's way more fun than couponing. Plus you get to sound super smart at parties. Imagine casually dropping, "Yeah, I just found a $1.3 million penny in my sock drawer, no big deal." If this is your first time hearing about coin values and you're suddenly inspired to dig through every drawer in your house, here are a few quick tips. Start small, focus on pennies from the 90s and early 2000s. They still in circulation and have potential. Grab a cheap microscope or magnifier. It makes spotting errors way easier and you'll feel like a CSI agent. Research mint marks and error varieties. The more you learn, the better your odds. Join coin forums or Facebook groups. There's a whole community of people who do this, and some of them are weirdly funny and super helpful. And number 5, always double check before spending your coins. Trust me, that vending machine is still haunting math. 1992 D Lincoln penny might look like every other penny in your jar, but if it's got that close AM reverse and is in great shape, you could be sitting on over $1 million. It's the kind of twist that makes you want to go coin diving right now. And remember, it's not about luck, it's about learning what to look for. Even the most ordinary things can be secretly extraordinary. Now, if you enjoyed this little coin adventure and you want more tips, stories and strategies to turn spare change into serious cash, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Smash the like, drop a comment with the weirdest place you've ever found a coin, and share this video with someone who still throws their change in random drawers. Trust me, there's a lot more treasure hiding in plain sight, and we're just getting started. Hey! Welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just make you rich and your couch cushions are a gold mine in disguise. Today, we're talking about a little brown beauty that's turning heads and bank accounts upside down, the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right. 1 cent. No mint mark. $1.4 million. And now, if you're new here, I promise this isn't clickbait. This is real deal coin collecting wizardry. So grab your coffee, tea, or whatever helps you get through a 40-minute dive into copper glory, and let's get into it. Alright, let's start with a simple question. When was the last time you looked at a penny and thought, "Hey, this might pay off my student loans"? Probably never, right? Same. I used to toss pennies in the junk drawer like they were expired coupons. But one day, true story, I was at my grandma's house, rummaging through an old jar of coins that had probably been sitting there since the Nixon administration. And bam! I found a 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now, did I strike it rich? Spoiler alert, no. But it did kickstart my obsession with coin collecting. And I learned some wild stuff that I'm about to share with you. So, the US Mint usually stamps coins with a little letter to tell you where it was made. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But sometimes, coins skip the gym and forget their ID altogether. That's the case with the 1994 no mint mark penny. Most of these were minted in Philly, and Philly doesn't always stamp a P on its pennies. So technically, most 1994 no mint mark pennies aren't rare. But, and here comes the spicy part, some were struck on the wrong planchet, had crazy minting errors, or were preserved in pristine, jaw-dropping condition. These are the pennies collectors drool over. And one of them? Recently valued at $1.4 million, yeah. $1.4 million. For a coin that looks like it should be under your car seat, what makes that penny so special? You're probably thinking, okay, but why is this one so valuable? And I get it. I had the same question before I dove into the coin collecting rabbit hole and ended up watching 3 hours of numismatic TikToks. The $1 million 1994 penny has a few things going for it, likely struck on a bronze planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. It's in near-perfect condition, graded MS69. That's basically coinspeak for flawless supermodel with no bad angles. And most importantly, it's in demand. Coin collectors are a passionate bunch, and when they want something rare, prices go through the roof. Let's put it in perspective. Imagine if your old baseball card had a printing error where Mickey Mantle was holding a banana instead of a bat. That kind of weird is what collectors live for. Step 1, grab every penny from 1994 you can find. Dig through your wallet, under the couch, in that weird drawer full of ketchup packets and twist ties. Look at the coin closely. Is it missing a mint mark? Good. Is it heavier than usual? Even better. Does it look shiny and new, like it just walked out of a time machine? Jackpot potential. Step 3, weigh it. A normal 1994 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is closer to 3.1 grams, you may have a rare bronze planchet version. Step 4, get it graded. Don't just stick it in a baggie and call it a day. Send it off to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if your penny is retirement worthy or just a fancy paperweight, because folks, we're in the golden age of hidden treasure. People are finding valuable coins in parking lots, thrift stores, and piggy banks. That penny you almost dropped in the tip jar could be worth more than your car, and look, you don't have to be a hardcore collector to get into this. I started just by checking my change while waiting for my coffee order. Now, I've got a magnifying glass in my glove compartment and I actually look forward to cash transactions. Also, side note, if anyone saw me with that magnifying glass at Taco Bell, mind your business right now. Rare pennies, especially error coins, are hot. The coin market has exploded thanks to online auctions and social media buzz. That 1994 penny sold for $1.4 million because collectors were practically in a bidding war, and just like sneakers or Pokemon cards, the value of rare coins keeps going up as more people jump into the hobby. So if you're holding onto a gem, now might be the perfect time to get it appraised. And now listen, don't go polishing your pennies with toothpaste or dropping them in vinegar like you're doing a science project. That actually hurts the value. Leave the coin as is. Even if it looks crusty, collectors want originality, not a coin that smells like minty freshness. Also, don't trust every TikTok or Facebook post saying your coin is worth $1 million. Get a second opinion from a real expert. Or, better yet, subscribe to this channel so you get the facts without the fluff. So let's bring it home. A 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be sitting in your pocket right now, quietly holding the value of a luxury car or a college degree. Most are just regular OL pennies, sure. But if you find the one in the rare bronze, error-filled beauty in perfect condition, you could be looking at $1.4 million. And hey, if you've made it this far in the video, you're officially part of the coin crew. Welcome to the family. Before you go, smash that subscribe button like it's a vending machine that ate your change. Hit the like button if you've ever dropped a penny and said, not worth it, because oh boy, it just might have been. Leave a comment below if you've got a 1994 penny in your collection or if you're heading to check your piggy bank right now. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video about coins worth more than your house. Hey there fellow treasure hunters and penny pinchers, have you ever walked by a penny on the ground and thought, man, not worth bending over for? Well, after today's video you're gonna be diving face first into sidewalks because the 1986 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is turning heads and flipping wallets. This bad boy is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $15 million. Yeah, that's right, $1.5 million for a penny. Let that sink in now. I know what you're thinking, come on, a penny from the 80s. Didn't everyone have those stuck between the couch cushions next to stale Cheetos and TV remote batteries? Yes, and that's what makes this story even juicier, so buckle up, grab your coin jar, and let's dive into the world of 1-cent coins that are worth more than your car or your house or maybe your whole neighborhood. Well, it's a standard looking penny at first glance, Abraham Lincoln giving us that thoughtful sideways stare made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating. It looks like the million other pennies we've all spent on gumballs and vending machines, but here's the kicker, this one doesn't have a mint mark. Now let me explain what that means in plain English. Most coins minted in the United States have a little letter somewhere that tells us where they were made: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver's for San Francisco, but this 1986 penny is missing that mark, and that makes it a mystery, a beautiful mistake, a minting error that turned into a millionaire's dream, like winning the lottery while being hit by lightning. Rare, only a handful have ever been authenticated, and the cleanest example known to man sold recently for $1.5 million. Some lucky person out there dug through their change, found a weird penny with no letter under the date, got it graded, and boom, there he now living the dream. Now before you go checking every 1986 penny in your collection, let's talk about what sets the $1 million versions apart. First, they're in mint condition, no pun intended. We're talking about coins that look like they just popped out of the machine yesterday. Second, they have that smooth, error-free finish, no scratches, no weird dents, just beautiful, brilliant luster. And third, they're certified by big names in the coin grading world. We're talking about PCGS or NGC. If it's not graded and sealed in one of those little plastic tombs with a barcode, you're not getting that $1 million payday. You know, the nights where all the mysterious keys, cables, and expired coupons go to die. And what do I find wedged between an old Game Boy cartridge and a broken magnet? A 1986 penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped. I ran to my laptop, looked it up, felt the rush. This could be it, the golden ticket. I took it to a local coin dealer. He squints, pulls out a magnifying glass, chuckles, and says, nah, it's just a common strike worth about 2 cents if you're lucky. Ouch, but hey, that's part of the thrill. Every penny you pick up, every jar you shake could be hiding a life-changing surprise, and that's why I keep looking. Yeah, it sounds basic, but people find rare coins at gas stations, convenience stores, even in vending machines. That Diet Coke you bought yesterday might have handed you a coin worth 6 figures. Tip number 2, hit up estate sales, flea markets, and garage sales. Old coin collections often go overlooked, especially by people who have no clue what they're holding. Tip number 3, get a coin magnifier, not the kind your grandpa used to read the newspaper. We're talking a real 10x loop. Trust me, once you see coins up close, you will never look at pennies the same again. Tip number 4, learn to spot fakes. Yeah, unfortunately there are scammers out there. People scrape off mint marks or try to create fake errors, but real collectors and experts can always tell, so be cautious and always verify with a grading service. The 1986 penny that fetched the big bucks was graded MS68 red. That's basically as good as it gets for this coin. MS stands for mint state. The scale goes from 1 to 70, and 68 is just shy of perfect. If yours looks like it took a ride through the washing machine, probably not the $1 million version, but hey, even a lower grade version with the right error can fetch a few hundred or a few $1,000s. One more thing, some of these 1986 no mint mark pennies have known die cracks or doubling. That's when the image looks like it was stamped twice. If you see Lincoln's face doing a double take, that might be worth something too. Never ignore a penny, especially one from 1986. That tiny coin could be your next big win. You don't need to be a millionaire to start collecting, you just need a few coins, a little knowledge, and the curiosity to keep flipping through change, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person holding a penny worth more than your car. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want more juicy stories about coins that could make you rich, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a chance to learn how your loose change might be your big break, because we've got more coming, more rare coins, more treasure tips, more laughs. Hey there coin hunters, collectors, and accidental millionaires in the making. What if I told you that a simple penny you probably ignored in your pocket change might actually be worth more than a Lamborghini, a luxury house, and a year's supply of tacos combined? No, really, I'm talking about a 2016 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that recently rocked the collector world with a jaw-dropping price tag of $1.7 million. Yup, a single coppery coin that could be sitting at the bottom of your junk Drawer is worth more than your dream vacation times 10, so grab that old change jar, shake the couch cushions, and let's dive deep into why this ordinary looking penny is anything but ordinary. Today we're breaking down the magic behind the 2060 Lincoln penny, what makes it so valuable, how you can spot one, and of course a few laughs along the way, because hey, learning about coins doesn't have to be boring. The 2006 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little d under the year, and it features our favorite stovepipe hat wearing President Abraham Lincoln chilling on the obverse side like he's been doing since 1909. Now here's the thing, millions, and I mean millions of these pennies were made in 2006, so why in the world would one lonely little penny be worth $1.7 million? Every now and then something weird happens during minting. Maybe someone spilled their coffee on the press, or the machine just decided to be creative. In this case it was a rare mint error combined with an exceptionally high-grade condition. The legendary $1.7 million 2060 penny wasn't just your average sidewalk survivor, it was an ultra-rare coin with an error that collectors went absolutely nuts over. We're talking double die strikes, off-center errors, and potentially a unique transitional metal composition like it was struck on a blank meant for another coin altogether. Now I know what you're thinking. How do I find one of these? How do I know if my penny is a winner or just another face down? On the pavement, first thing to do is check the mint mark. It has to be a D for Denver, not P, not S, just D. Next, look at the condition. $1 million penny isn't going to be scratched up with bubblegum stuck to it. We're talking mint state condition like MS67 or higher. That's coin nerd speak for pretty much flawless, like the day it was born. And here's the real kicker, the $1.7 million coin was graded by a professional service and came with documentation of the rare minting error. So if your penny looks weird, different, has doubling in the date or lettering, or just feels like it might be special, don't toss it, get it appraised. So a few years ago I'm visiting my grandma, right? She's one of those folks who keeps everything in coffee cans like buttons, paper clips, and of course a random mountain of pennies. I am bored, so I start going through them expecting absolutely nothing when I come across this super shiny 2060 penny. It looked brand new, like someone just unwrapped it from a time capsule. I took it home out of curiosity and showed it to a friend of mine who's into coins. He takes one look and goes, dude, this might be worth something. Long story short, it wasn't the one worth $1.7 million, but it did sell online for $300, which I immediately spent on pizza and regret nothing. But man, just imagine if that had been the big one. I'd be filming this from my own private coin-shaped yacht right now. Now, some of you might be wondering how often coins like this are found. Truth is, they're rare, but they do show up sometimes in pocket change rolls from the bank, or yes, even in grandma's coffee can. What makes coin collecting so fun is the treasure hunt. You never know when you'll strike copper gold, metaphorically speaking. Of course, collectors are willing to pay insane prices for coins with unique flaws, historical significance, or just incredible eye appeal. The 2060 penny hit all those marks with the perfect storm of rarity, error, condition, and demand. If you want to up your chances of finding a valuable penny, here's a quick list of tips. 1. Get friendly with your local bank and ask for rolls of pennies and go through them. When you're bored, it's like fishing, but you don't smell like fish. 2. Invest in a good magnifying glass. You'd be amazed what you can spot with a closer look. 3. Learn the signs of valuable errors, doubling, off-center strikes, missing letters, weird coloration, or anything that looks odd. 4. If you find something suspicious, don't clean it. That's a rookie mistake. Collectors want coins untouched even if they look a little crusty. 5. Consider submitting the coin to a grading service if it looks like a top contender, and keep it safe, like lock it in a safe. The 2060 Lincoln penny might look like just another piece of spare change, but in the right condition with the right error, it could be your ticket to millionaire status. And while most of us might never stumble upon that exact $1.7 million coin, the hunt is half the fun, and who knows what you might discover along the way. From bankrolls to couch cushions, you've got a world of hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered. So next time you get a handful of pennies, don't roll your eyes, flip them over and take a closer look. You might be holding something extraordinary. If you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or just laughed at my pizza story, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and share it with your fellow treasure hunters. We've got tons more coin tips, rare finds, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into real change. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, meh, just 1 cent, probably not even worth the energy to bend over and grab it? Well, today I'm gonna flip that idea right on its copper head, because we're diving deep into the world of one single penny that's now worth a whopping $18 million. Yep, you heard that right, 1 cent. One little Lincoln penny minted in 1952 with an S mark that could buy you a house in Beverly Hills, a yacht, and still leave you enough for some extra guac at Chipotle. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that are secretly treasure chests in disguise. If you love money, history, and the thrill of treasure hunting, make sure you hit that subscribe button and buckle up, because this 1952's penny story is gonna blow your socks off even if you're wearing sandals. Let's set the stage. It's 1952. Eisenhower was president. Rock and roll was just starting to stir up some noise, and in San Francisco a batch of Lincoln wheat pennies was being quietly Pressed into existence, most of these pennies lived normal boring penny lives, buying candy bars, rolling around in pockets, you know the usual, but a very select few were struck so perfectly or had such unique characteristics that they become the holy grails of coin collecting today. Now let me tell you about one of those rare unicorns, the 1952's Lincoln penny. This coin might look like the one stuck between your car seats right now, but if it's in pristine condition, we're talking mint state red like. Fresh out the press red, this thing could be worth 18 million bucks, and no, that's not monopoly money, that's cold hard cash. Why so much? Well, my friend, it's all about rarity, condition, and that sweet S mint mark. First, the S mint mark means it was made in San Francisco. That mint is known for producing lower quantities compared to Philly or Denver, which automatically makes their coins more desirable to collectors, especially if they're in gem mint condition. Now let's add some spice. This specific 1952's penny we're talking about isn't just shiny, it's graded MS67+, which means it's basically a coin-shaped piece of perfection, and that grade didn't come easy. Trust me, coin grading is like American Idol for coins. You need talent, beauty, and zero blemishes. Just one tiny scratch and boom, you're knocked out. This penny sold in a private auction for $18 million. That's more than most people make in their entire life, and it's all because someone decided to hang on to a 1-cent coin and protect it like it was a Fabergé. Buddy of mine, who I'll call Dave because, well, that's his name, once found a box of old coins in his grandpa's attic. One of them was a 1952's penny. He almost gave it to his nephew to stick in a lemonade jar, but then thought, wait, let me Google this first. Turned out it wasn't the $1 million version, but it was still worth over 200 bucks. Aside from mint condition, another thing that boosts its value is historical context. People love nostalgia, and the 1950s were a time of big cultural shifts. Having a coin from that era, especially one so rare it's basically the Elvis of pennies, adds sentimental and collector value. And you know how people get with collecting. Once someone wants to complete a perfect set, they'll pay top dollaro. And let's not forget errors. Some 1952's pennies have minting errors like doubling on the date or letters missing details. These quirks, which would be flaws in any other industry, actually make the coins more valuable. It's like if you bought a car with a factory mistake, and instead of lowering the price they said, hey, that scratch in the paint actually makes it a collector's item worth triple. Now you're probably thinking, alright, how do I know if I've got one of these golden goose pennies? Well, first step, go raid your old change jars, dig into your sock drawers, call grandma, tell her you suddenly care about coin collecting, and check every 1952 penny you can find. Then check the condition. If it's bright red with no visible wear, you might be onto something. To be sure, you'll want to get it professionally graded. Go with a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. It might cost a few bucks, but if it comes back as a high grade, you could be swimming in offers faster than you can say, I just quit my job. The coin collecting market, especially for high grade rare Lincoln pennies, has been heating up faster than a microwave burrito, with more people getting into collectibles and investments that aren't tied to the stock market. Coins have become a hot commodity, and with something as rare as a top-tier 1952's penny, collectors are willing to throw serious cash around. Just last year, a similar coin sold at auction for over $15 million, and that wasn't even the highest grade. So yeah, this stuff is real, not just YouTube hype. So next time someone says a penny isn't worth much, you just smile and think about that shiny little 1952's beauty chilling somewhere worth $18 million. Remember, it's not just about luck, it's about knowing what to look for, learning the signs, and sometimes just paying attention to the change jingling in your pocket. And hey, even if you don't find the $1 million penny, it's still fun hunting for treasure, right? Who doesn't want to feel like Indiana Jones, but with better dental coverage? Alright, my coin-loving crew, if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about coins that could change your life, drop a like, share it with your favorite treasure hunter, and of course don't forget to subscribe. We've got tons more videos coming that'll help you find coins worth big bucks and teach you everything you need to know without putting you to sleep. Hey there, treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential paydays. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, looked at it, and thought, man, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those dusty, forgotten little copper coins could be worth a jaw-dropping, life-changing $1.1 million? Yeah, I said it, a penny, 1 cent, one copper coin that could buy you a mansion, a sports car, and probably a lifetime supply of tacos today. We're diving deep into the world of the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This little guy looks innocent enough, but oh no, it's got a big secret, and I'll tell you all about it. Plus I'll share a story about how I almost tossed a valuable coin into a vending machine. Spoiler alert, I nearly cried. So grab a comfy seat, maybe a magnifying glass, and definitely a snack, and let's talk about the $1 million penny you might already have. Alright, so let's start at the beginning. The 1979 Lincoln penny is part of the classic Lincoln Memorial Cents series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. You know, the one with Honest Abe chillin' on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now the no mint mark thing, what's that all about? Well, most coins are stamped with a little letter to show where they were made. A D means Denver and S means San Francisco, but if there's no mint mark at all, that usually means the coin came from the Philadelphia Mint in 1979. That was still normal. Philadelphia coins didn't get mint marks, so Technically, a no-mint mark penny isn't automatically rare, but there's a twist here, folks. Not all 1979 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of them are packing some serious heat. So what makes this specific 1979 no-mint mark penny so special? Well, we're talking about one with an ultra-rare error, and coin collectors go wild for errors the way cats go nuts for laser pointers. This one we're talking about has a double die outburst that's fancy collector speak for the front of the coin being stamped twice but slightly off. It makes the details like the words Liberty or the date 1979 look thick, distorted, or doubled, and that, folks, is a golden ticket. Combine that with a flawless condition, meaning the coin was never circulated, barely touched, no fingerprints, no soda machine drama, and you've got yourself a coin worth over $1 million. One of these rare bad boys sold at auction for $1.1 million recently, and people are now digging through their change jars like pirates looking for buried treasure. So what should you look for when checking your 1979 penny? Here's your cheat sheet. Look for no mint mark on the front right under the date. Examine Liberty and In God We Trust. Are the letters doubled or look kinda bold? Check the date. 2. Flip the coin over. Make sure the Lincoln Memorial looks normal, no funky lines or shifted print. Check the overall condition. If it's been through the laundry 20 times, it's probably not our millionaire. Use a magnifier app or a jeweler's loupe. A regular, I might miss the magic. A couple years ago, I was at the laundromat digging through my car's cup holder looking for quarters when I found this shiny 1979 penny. It looked kind of cool, not scratched up at all, and I thought, hey, maybe I should keep it for my little coin jar. Then I looked at the vending machine and thought, nah, I need a Snickers more than a penny. While I almost spent a penny that turned out later to be a rare double die version. I kid you not, I took it to a local coin dealer months later, and the guy's eyes lit up like he just saw Bigfoot riding a unicorn. While mine didn't sell for $1 million, it got me a few $1,000s and a whole new respect for Lincoln. Alright, coin hunters, here are your pro-level strategies for not missing out. Don't ignore pennies. They may be small, but they could be mighty. You get familiar with common minting errors: doubling, off-centering, die cracks, clipped planchets. Use online guides with clear photos to compare your coins. Join a coin collecting group on Facebook or Reddit. You'll learn fast and avoid scams. Invest in a cheap magnifying tool. You'll feel like Sherlock Holmes but with copper. And most importantly, don't spend anything until you've checked it twice like it's Christmas money. Pennies cost more to make than they're worth. Abraham Lincoln was the first real person to appear on a U.S. coin. In 1943, copper penny sold for over $1.7 million. Some collectors pay more for coins with weird damage than regular perfect ones. Coin hunting is one of the few hobbies that might actually make you money. So there you have it, folks. The humble 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny might be sitting in your pocket right now, just waiting to change your life. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who thinks finding a quarter on the sidewalk is good luck, this is your sign to start checking your change. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And if you learned something today or just had a good laugh at my near vending machine disaster, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, tap subscribe, and smash that bell like you're flattening a soda. Can I be got plenty more coin tips, money making secrets, and stories from the wild world of rare currency coming your way, and trust me, you do not want to miss what I've got lined up next. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just make you a millionaire. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions or raiding your piggy bank, let me hit you with a wild fact. There's a 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, I said a penny. A single lonely copper coin that most people would walk right past on the sidewalk is out here casually flexing millionaire status. Now you might be thinking, there's no way my crusty old penny is worth that much, right? Well, hang tight, because I'm about to tell you exactly what makes that little 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special, how to spot one, what mistakes to look for, and how you can possibly cash in if you've got the right one sitting in your junk drawer. And I'll even share the tragic tale of how I accidentally spent a valuable penny on a Snickers bar. Alright, let's kick things off with the basics. What's so special about this 1981 penny? So the 1981 penny without a mint mark was made in Philadelphia, and that's actually totally normal for that mint because they didn't start putting a P on pennies until 2017. But not every 1981 no mint mark penny is valuable. In fact, most of them are only worth face value unless they have certain rare errors or are in minty fresh condition. When we say this coin is worth $1.1 million, we're talking about a very specific variety of that penny, one that has some wild characteristics and is in near perfect condition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from making pennies out of mostly copper to mostly zinc with a copper coating, so a 1981 penny should be copper. It should weigh about 3.11 grams. Get yourself a little pocket scale. They're cheap online, and trust me, they'll pay for themselves the second you find a coin like this. The $1 million 1981 penny we're talking about was struck on a proof die by mistake. Yeah, basically someone at the mint grabbed the wrong equipment and accidentally used a special die meant For proof coins on a regular circulation coin, what that did was give the penny razor-sharp details, extra shiny surfaces, and that sweet cameo contrast between Lincoln's profile and the background. These are known as proof-like errors, and they're extremely rare in circulation coins. Now imagine a coin like that escaping the mint without being caught, surviving in the wild for over 40 years without being scratched to heck, and then landing in someone's hands who knew exactly what to look for. There are a few errors that can make your 1981 penny valuable, even if it's not the $1 million superstar. This is when Lincoln's face or the words on the front of the coin look slightly doubled, kind of like the coin had one too many espressos. If the design is way off the center, it can add major value, especially if the date is still visible. This one's a crowd favorite. It's when a tiny raised line appears between the B and E in Liberty, making it look like it says Liberty or Loberty, or just making your coin look like it's sneezing mid-word. Those errors can fetch anywhere from a few bucks to a few hundred depending on condition. So back in college I had this penny I'd kept since I was a kid. My grandpa gave it to me, said it might be worth something someday. It was shiny, it looked weird, and I thought, hey, maybe this is the real deal. Then one day I'm starving, I'm late to class, and I'm digging through my wallet for change for the vending machine. Long story short, that penny bought me a Snickers. Fast forward 5 years, I learn about the proof like 1981 no mint mark penny. I check my old photos. I spend a possible fortune for 250 calories of caramel and regret the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny you've got could just be the next millionaire making coin. But it all comes down to condition, special errors, and crazy minting flukes. If you've got one in perfect shape, weighs about 3.11 grams and looks like it belongs in a jewelry display case, not a spare change jar, then you might want to get that thing checked out by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Now, if you're into coin collecting or just want to know how to turn ordinary looking coins into serious cash, hit that subscribe button. I drop weekly videos breaking down valuable coins, error coins, and little known coin strategies that could turn your glove compartment into a goldmine. And hey, even if you never find a $1 million penny, at least you'll have a great story and a few extra bucks in your pocket. So keep checking your change, stay curious, and remember, just because it's a penny doesn't mean it's worthless. Hey coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where we dig through pocket change like it's a treasure chest. And today, folks, you're gonna want to check every penny you own, because one little coin from 1964 could change your life. That's right, we're talking about the legendary, the mysterious, the potentially $1 million 1964 D Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard me, a coin that probably rolled off a vending machine tray in the 60s is now worth a whopping $1.2 million. If that doesn't get your coin senses tingling, I don't know what will. Now, before you go flipping over the couch cushions, hang tight, because we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable, how to know if you've got one, and how I once got laughed at by a cashier for paying with what might have been a $500 coin. Yep, true story. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe a flashlight, and definitely a cup of coffee, because we're about to go on a journey through time, money, and a whole lot of copper. The 1964 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and back then pennies were still mostly made of good old copper, around 95% of it. In fact, they made billions of these, like over 3 billion to be exact. So why is one worth over $1 million? The secret is in the mistakes and the rarities. Now, I know that sounds like dating advice, but trust me, it applies to coins too. See, back in the 60s, the mint was under serious pressure. They were trying to phase out silver from coins and focus on producing more base metal coins to meet demand. This led to a rushed, chaotic coin production process, and when things get rushed, you know what happens: errors. So a few 1964 D Lincoln pennies ended up with crazy minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. Imagine being that one guy working at the mint who accidentally made a penny out of a dime blank, and now that little oopsie is worth more than a Lamborghini. The particular 1964 D coin that sold for that insane amount wasn't your everyday copper penny. It was in pristine condition. We're talking mint state, perfect, basically untouched since the day it left the mint. Experts believe that it was either a test strike or a pattern coin made under special conditions, which never should have made it into circulation, but somehow one did, and it ended up in the hands of a lucky collector who probably just thought, hey, cool shiny penny, and years later, boom, millionaire. Now let me tell you about a time I thought I hit the jackpot. I was at a flea market digging through a box labeled old junk coins, and I spot a shiny 1964 D penny. I nearly fainted right there between a guy selling homemade beef jerky and a woman with 6 cats on leashes. I bought it for $0.25. Yes, $0.25 for a penny. See what I did there? I rushed home, heart-pounding dreams of private islands and vintage convertibles racing through my head. I googled the heck out of it, held it up to every light source I could find. I even took it to a local coin shop. The guy behind the counter looks at it, squints, and goes, yeah buddy, this one's been cleaned with a Brillo pad and used as a hammer. Dreams shattered like a dropped snow globe. But hey, it taught me a valuable lesson. Clean coins aren't necessarily good coins, and don't get your hopes up without doing your research. So how can you tell if your 1964 D penny is the $1 million kind? First, check the condition. If it looks like it just came out of a penny roll from heaven, you're on the right track. Second, look for mint errors, double die Adverse is a big one. Look closely at the date and the lettering. If it looks like it's shadowed or doubled, bingo. Third, check the weight. A genuine copper penny should weigh about 3.11 grams, but some rare errors were struck on lighter planchets. And finally, have it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC, because nobody's paying you $1 million based on your cousin Larry's opinion from Facebook. Now if you're thinking, cool, but I already spent my 1964 D penny on a candy bar in 1998, don't worry, there's still hope. There are other years with valuable Lincoln pennies, and you never know what might be lurking in your change jar. Honestly, if you're not checking your coins at this point, you're basically walking past free scratch-off tickets every day. And don't even get me started on the time I found a wheat penny in a tip jar and swapped it for a regular one. Yeah, I became that guy. Alright folks, we've covered the legend of the 1964 D penny, the why, the how, and the maybe, just maybe, of hitting that $1 million jackpot. If you've got one hiding in a drawer or a jar of spare change, it might be time to give it a second look, because here's the thing, these coins are out there. They're not myths, they're not unicorns, they're copper-covered potential, and they're hiding in plain sight. And if you want to learn more about valuable coins, how to spot rare errors, and how not to get swindled by a guy at a gas station, then this is the channel for you. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Give this video a thumbs up if you've ever picked up a coin off the sidewalk and secretly hoped it was rare, and share this with a friend who's always broke but somehow has a jar of pennies gathering dust, because who knows, maybe one of them is sitting on $1 million right now. Hey there fellow treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just make you a millionaire. If you're the kind of person who tosses pennies aside like they're just annoying copper clutter, then hold up, because today we are diving deep into a little coin that could be hiding in your car cup holder and could be worth a jaw-dropping $13 million. That's right, I'm talking about the 1970 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds basic, right? Well, buckle up, because this little guy has a wild backstory and a crazy market value, and you might just have one sitting in your junk drawer or coffee can of random coins. Now, before we jump into the shiny details, let me tell you a quick story about the time I almost spent one of these babies on a gas station candy bar. Stick around, because you're gonna want to hear this. So what's the deal with the 1970 D penny, and why is it suddenly worth a small fortune? Back in 1970, the Denver Mint produced a bunch of Lincoln pennies with the good old D Mint mark under the date. It was a pretty standard year for the penny at first glance, but here's where it gets spicy. Some of these pennies were struck with errors, variations, and even some very low mintage proofs, and those are the unicorns. Collectors go wild. For now, let's talk about the star of the show, the 1970 D penny that's worth $13 million. This isn't just any OL coin, this one is in pristine condition like mint state, and it's got some unique features like a double die adverse and a perfectly centered strike. That's numismatic gold, baby. Collectors pay big money for a coin that's rare and flawless. Think of it like finding a perfectly preserved slice of pizza from 1970, but instead of mold, it's magically fresh and delicious. Okay, maybe not the best metaphor, but you get the point. So what makes this specific penny so valuable? Well, it boils down to three things: rarity, condition, and collector demand. There's reportedly only a few in such flawless shape floating around, and every collector wants one to show off in their collection. It's the coin equivalent of finding a diamond in a sandbox. Now, remember that story I teased earlier? Let me take you back a few years. I was cleaning out my car like a responsible adult, which happens about once every presidential election. I reached down between the seats and pulled out a handful of change. I almost tossed it in a Coinstar machine, but something told me to look a little closer. I saw this weird-looking penny with the 1970 D mark, and I thought, how weird, font, thicker date, almost looked like the numbers were doubling. So I did a quick search and nearly fell out of my chair. I didn't win the penny lottery that day, but it was worth a couple $100. Not bad for a coin that smelled like French fries and old receipts. Now, some of you are probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these super rare 1970 D pennies? Here's a quick checklist. 1. Does it have the D Mint Mark? 2. Is the date super crisp and bold, especially the 9 and the 03? Do the numbers look doubled, like they partied a little too hard and are seeing double? 4. Does Honest Abe look like he's got extra detail in his hair or jacket? 5. Is it in good condition, like no deep scratches or corrosion? If you've got one that checks all those boxes, do not spend it on vending machine snacks. I repeat, step away from the Snickers. Instead, take it to a coin shop or get it professionally graded. That's where the magic happens. A penny that looks decent raw might be worth $100, but once graded, if it comes back mint state MS65 or higher, then we're talking serious cash. And let's take a minute to appreciate how wild this is. We live in a world where people are paying millions for NFTs of pixelated monkeys, and yet here we are sleeping on literal money, just chilling in our change jar. Now, I know what you're thinking, I'm gonna go dig through every couch cushion and coin jar I've got right after this video, and yes, that's exactly what you should do. But before you do that, here's a few more tips. Get a magnifying glass or one of those little coin loop tools. Compare your coin with verified images from trusted sources. Join a few coin collecting groups on social media where people love sharing their finds. Oh, and please don't clean your coin with soap or toothpaste. You'll scratch it and drop the value faster than crypto on a Monday. Still with me? Good, because here's a bonus tip. Even if your 1970 D penny isn't worth millions, some of them in lesser Conditions still fetch 10, 50, even $100. That's not bad for something that cost 1 cent. Plus it's a fun hobby. You learn a little history, get to geek out over cool details, and maybe just maybe stumble on a life-changing coin. The 1970 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but it's got the potential to be worth a staggering $13 million if you've got the right one. Mint mark D double die obverse super sharp details in mint state condition. That's the golden ticket. And don't forget my story. Clean your car, dig through old jars, check those coin rolls. You never know what treasure you might find. If you enjoyed this wild penny tale and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich in the least expected ways, do me a solid, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. We're talking nickels, dimes, quarters, and even dollar bills that could be worth thousands. Plus I've got more personal stories, fun facts, and coin hunting strategies coming your way, so don't miss out. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just turn you into a millionaire. Now I know what you're thinking, a penny, a single 1 cent coin worth $1.4 million. That sounds crazier than trying to toast bread with a flashlight, but hold on to your piggy banks, because today we're diving into one of the most overlooked and underestimated coins out there. That's right, a coin you might have dropped in a vending machine or lost in your couch cushions. Could be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini. In today's video we'll explore why this little copper coin is turning heads in the coin collecting world, what makes it so valuable, and how you can spot one in your own collection. I'll even share a hilarious story about the time I thought I found one and almost passed out at a gas station. So grab your favorite snack, sit back, and let's talk about how a simple 1978 penny could change your life. The 1978 Lincoln penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and as was standard back then, it didn't have a mint mark. That's right, no little letter under the date. And while most of these pennies are common as ants at a picnic, there are a few unicorns out there that make collectors lose their minds. Now what makes this coin worth a staggering $1.4 million? It's all about condition, rarity, and of course errors. Some of these no mint mark 1978 pennies were struck on a bronze planchet when they were supposed to be transitioning to a different composition. That's like ordering fries and getting gold nuggets instead. Not to mention a few of these coins have dramatic doubling, crisp details, and absolutely perfect finishes. We're talking mint state 67 and above in coin speak. That's like the Olympic gold medal of penny condition. You're not just paying for copper, you're paying for a historical mistake captured in flawless form. Imagine being the person who found that and realized they were holding $1 million mistake. So I'm at this gas station, right? I just bought a bag of chips and got some change back. I'm bored waiting in line and start flipping through my coins. I see a 1978 penny and my heart stops. No mint mark, shiny, looks crisp. I'm convinced I've hit the jackpot. I yell, oh my god, in the middle of the store, drop everything, run to my car, pull out my phone with shaking hands and start googling like a madman. I kid you not, a lady pumping gas next to me asked if I was okay, and I just said, I think I'm RICH. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The rare one, it had a tiny scratch and was only worth like $2, still better than nothing. But let's just say I've been humbled since then. If you want to find one of these valuable pennies, here's what you need to do. Second, flip it over, look for that missing mint mark. If you see a D or S, it's not the one. Then examine the condition. The better the shine, the sharper the details, the higher the value. You can even get a magnifying glass or a USB coin microscope online to help spot doubling and errors. And if you really think you've got something special, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. It might cost you a little upfront, but it's worth it if your penny turns out to be the real deal. Some of these have sold in auctions for life-changing amounts of money. We're talking college tuition, down payment on a house, retire early levels of money. And let me tell you, there are collectors out there with very deep pockets who will pay top dollar for a perfect 1978 no mint mark penny. So don't toss your change, don't let your kids use your pennies for crafts, and for the love of all things shiny, don't leave a jar of coins in the garage. That ordinary looking 1978 penny without a mint mark might be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. It's like winning the lottery, but with better odds and no need to scratch anything. Moral of the story, check your change, check your drawers, check your grandma's old coffee can. You never know when the next $1 million coin is hiding in plain sight. If you had fun watching and want more hilarious stories, valuable coin finds, and tips to turn your pocket change into profit, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, tap the bell, and join our coin crazy family. You don't want to miss the next episode where we uncover another coin that could be worth more than your car. Alright, stop what you're doing and go check your pockets. No, seriously, I'll wait, because today we're talking about a seemingly ordinary coin that could make you a millionaire. That's right folks, the 2016 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could be worth up to $1.5 million. Yeah, I said million, not thousand. You might be thinking, wait, hold up, how can a coin I've probably tossed in a tip jar be worth more than my car? Well, stick around, because I'm about to tell you exactly why that is in how you might just have a golden ticket hiding in plain sight. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at my local coffee shop, you know, the kind where the baristas wear beanies. Even in the summer, I paid for my overpriced oat milk latte with a 5 and got some change back. I didn't think much of it, but one penny caught my eye. It had this shiny shimmer like it was flexing on the other coins I held onto. It for no reason just tossed it in my car's cup holder a week later. While watching a late-night video about valuable coins, I nearly spit out my soda. The coin in the video looked exactly like mine. Turns out it wasn't the jackpot, but that moment started my obsession with checking every coin, and now here we are. What makes the 2016 D penny so special? Well, for starters, it's a Lincoln penny, which we've all seen a million times, but this particular penny, minted in Denver in 2016, has a twist. There are rumors and reports of extremely rare versions of this coin that were struck on the wrong planchet, or had a dramatic die clash, or were double struck. We're talking mint errors so rare they make Bigfoot sightings look common now. Normally a 2016 D penny is worth, well, 1 cent, but if you've got one of these unicorns with the right error, it could be worth $1.5 million to the right collector. That's not just a bump in value, that's a jump straight to the moon. One of the most valuable versions of this coin was found with a double die obverse. That means the front of the coin where Lincoln's face lives looks like it was printed twice. Lincoln ends up looking like he's got a shadow twin. Creepy, yes. Valuable also, yes. Another super rare variation is the off-center strike. Imagine Lincoln looking like he was trying to photobomb the edge of the coin. Collectors eat that stuff up. The more off-center the strike, the more off the charts the value. Then there are coins struck on foreign planchets, basically a penny that got stamped on a blank meant for another country's coin. Oops for the mint, cha-ching for you. And don't even get me started on the repunched mint marks. That's when the D looks like it's got a cousin hiding behind it. It might seem like a small detail, but to collectors that's like finding an original Star Wars toy still in the box. So where do you find one of these bad boys? Short answer, anywhere. Your couch cushions, your glove compartment, your grandma's coin jar from 1982. Heck, I once found a weird looking penny inside a gumball machine tray. It wasn't worth a million, but it bought me gum and a lesson in never overlooking change. If you think you've got a rare 2016 D penny, the first thing you should do is not spend it on gas. Take it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or Rankfield. Look at the coin under a microscope with more focus than a raccoon inspecting a shiny object. They'll give it a grade, and if it's high enough and the error is legit, then congratulations, you're sitting on a 6-figure if not 7-figure payday. Now, don't expect every 2016 D penny to be worth a fortune. Most of them are exactly what they look like, a cent, but that's the thrill of the hunt. It's like playing the lottery, but instead of picking numbers, you're picking through change, and the best part, no losing ticket, just more pennies for the pile. Keep a small magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe in your car or bag. Check your change whenever you get some, especially pennies and nickels. People overlook those the most, and that's where treasure hides. Also make friends with cashiers. They see coins all day and might even set aside weird ones for you if you ask nicely and bring donuts. The 2016 D mint mark Lincoln penny may look average, but with the right error it's worth more than a Lamborghini. This tiny copper-colored circle could be your ticket to a new house, a fancy vacation, or at least a better coffee machine. Remember, the key is to keep looking, check every coin, and learn what to look for, because the next $1 million penny could be hiding in your change jar right now. And hey, if you enjoyed hanging out with me today, if you learned something new, or if you're already reaching for your coin stash, then hit that subscribe button, like the video, and ring that notification bell, because I've got more coin secrets coming your way, from nickels worth thousands to quarters that could pay your mortgage. You don't want to miss it. Trust me, this is the most fun you'll ever have, looking at small metal discs. Hey there, coin lovers, treasure hunters, penny hoarders, and folks who just happened to click this video while binge watching cat fails at 3 a.m. Welcome to the channel where your spare change might just make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. 1 cent. The copper-colored underdog in your couch cushions could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Now, before you flip your piggy bank upside down, let me tell you the star of today's show, the 2006 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds like just another ordinary coin, right? But oh no, my friend, this one has a twist, hotter than a jalapeno on a summer day in Texas. So grab your coins, grab a drink, maybe a snack, and let's dive deep into the wild, wonderful, and weird world of one very special penny. Alright, so let's start simple. What is the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It's the same good old Lincoln Memorial design we've all seen since 1959. Honest Abe sitting tall on the obverse with that classic 1,000-yard stare, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, where if you squint hard enough you might convince yourself you can see a tiny statue of him in there. Now here's where it gets spicy. Most 2006 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia pennies usually don't have a mint mark, and Denver pennies come with a little D under the year. So if you've got a 2006 penny with no mint mark, you might just shrug and think, hey, it's normal. But not all no mint mark pennies are created equal. You see, the one we're talking about today is special. It's rare. Like the last slice of pizza rare. And unlike your everyday 2006 Philly penny, this one has a jaw-dropping error that's made collectors lose their minds and wallets. So what makes this little coin worth $1.6 million? Well, friends, it all comes down to a delightful little disaster at the US Mint. We're talking about a striking error. No, not like striking out in baseball, but like someone at the Mint was having a bad Monday and struck the coin on the wrong planchet. That's a fancy way of saying they printed Lincoln's face on a metal disc that was never meant to be a penny in the first place. Imagine trying to bake cookies and using a tortilla instead of dough. That's basically what happened here. This specific 2006 penny was struck on a foreign coin planchet, possibly from another denomination or country, which gave it a totally off-color metal tone, strange weight, and even different dimensions. It looked like a penny, but it felt wrong. Like putting pineapple on pizza wrong. Wait, actually, no judgment if you like that. Anyway, this off-metal error was caught by an eagle-eyed collector who realized this wasn't just a funky-looking penny, it was a unicorn. After getting certified by a top-tier grading service, this bad boy sold for a ridiculous $1.6 million at auction. Now let's talk about the people who actually pay this kind of money for pennies. Coin collectors, also called numismatists, are like treasure hunters with glasses and magnifying loupes. These folks live for rare coins, especially ones with mistakes. Only a handful of error pennies like this 2006 no mint Mark I exist. That makes them more wanted than a free pizza on college campus. And the coin community went nuts when this penny hit the news. Coin forums exploded. Reddit threads multiplied. Everyone started checking their 2006 change, hoping to strike copper gold. One guy even claimed he found a similar coin at a laundromat and refused to use it to dry his socks. That's commitment. Okay, time for a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her house. You know how grandmas are. She had a jar of coins the size of a small dog. I figured, hey, why not look through it? Maybe I'll find something cool. So there I was on the floor sorting through dusty nickels and sticky dimes when suddenly I spotted a shiny 2006 penny with no mint mark. My heart did backflips. I started imagining the yacht I'd buy, the mansion, the endless tacos I'd ordered. I raced to a local coin shop thinking I was about to change my life. The guy took one look and said, yeah, this one's just a regular Philly penny. Worth about 1 cent. Ouch. My dreams died faster than a phone battery at 2%, but that moment taught me something valuable. First, never get your hopes up until a professional checks the coin. And second, even if you strike out, it's still a lot of fun hunting for hidden treasure in your own change. Now let's get practical. How do you know if you have a rare 2006 penny like this? First, grab a magnifying glass. No shame in pretending to be Sherlock Holmes for a minute. Now here's the kicker. Look at the color. Is it off? Maybe more silver or gray than usual. Could be a clue. Next, feel the weight. Most pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. If it feels lighter or heavier, that could be your golden ticket. Finally, if anything seems strange, weird edge, strange sound or texture, get it graded. That's the only way to be sure. Use a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it costs money, but if your penny is worth even a tiny fraction of 1.6 million, you'll want to make it official. So let's say you do find a suspicious looking 2006 no mint mark penny. First, breathe. Don't go running through the streets like you just won the lottery. Keep it cool. Second, store it safely. Don't chuck it in your junk drawer or let your dog chew on it. Use a coin holder or flip to protect it. Third, take it to a local coin dealer or send it for grading. Be sure to get multiple opinions. And then if you get confirmation, congrats, my friend. You've got yourself a rare piece of American minting history, and if it ends up being worth $1.6 million, well, let's just say your piggy bank days are over. So there you have it, folks. One little 2006 penny that could be worth more than your car, your rent, and probably your student loans combined. If that's not a reason to check your pocket change, I don't know what is. Remember, it's not just about luck. It's about paying attention, learning what to look for, and having a little fun with the process. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny, you'll gain a hobby that's way more interesting than doom scrolling social media. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that subscribe button like you're trying to wake up Abe Lincoln himself. Hit that bell so you never miss a tip on coins that could make you rich. And drop a comment if you've ever found a weird coin in your change. I want to hear your stories. Hey coin hunters and curious folks, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into dream chasers. If you've ever looked at a penny and thought it's just a cent today, I'm about to flip that mindset on its coppery little head. Picture this: you're digging through the couch cushions hunting for the TV remote when your hand brushes something small and metallic. You pull it out and boom, it's a penny. Nothing special, right? Just good old Abe Lincoln staring up at you, all solemn and serious. But hold up, what if I told you that penny could be worth a jaw-dropping, tear-inducing bank account exploding $1.7 million? That's right folks, today we're diving deep into the legend, the myth, the money bag of mystery that is the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. So grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe a soft cloth, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and why is it suddenly hotter than a pizza fresh out the oven? Back in 1994, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies, as they do every year. Most of them were minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't include a mint mark. That's normal, but once in a while something weird slips through the cracks. Now here's where things get spicy. A tiny batch of these 1994 pennies came out looking ordinary but had something extraordinary going on with their composition or striking process. It could be an error coin, a rare die variety, or even an experimental planchet. Whatever the case, only a handful of these little copper celebrities have been found, and collectors are shelling out big bucks for them. Imagine this: you're in line at a gas station, you pay with exact change, you give the clerk a 1994 penny, he pockets it, tosses it in the drawer, and bam, $1 million coin just vanished into the void. So what makes these particular pennies worth seven figures? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and a touch of mystery. Some of the rarest 1994 no-mint Mark pennies are thought to have been struck on bronze planchets instead of the regular zinc ones. That alone makes them freakishly rare. Combine that with a mint state condition and a certified grade of say MS68 or higher, and you've got yourself a collector's dream. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. A few years ago I was cleaning out my junk drawer, you know, the one, the drawer that holds 3 dried up pens, 1/2 melted birthday candle, and some coupons. That expired when Blockbuster was still a thing. Anyway, I find this dusty old coin envelope I got at a yard sale 10 years ago for $1 just for kicks. I open it and there's a bunch of wheat pennies in there. I get to the bottom and there it is. Now I didn't think much of it until I stumbled across a coin blog talking about rare pennies. I pull out the magnifying glass, fire up Google, and start cross-referencing details. Long story short, I sent it in for grading, and while it wasn't the $1 million version, it still came back worth a couple $100. Not bad for something I found under a broken rubber band and a thumbtack. The point is, these rare coins exist, they're out there, and they're not just sitting in museums or billionaires' vaults. They're in jars, drawers, car cup holders, even old Halloween pumpkin buckets. So how can you tell if your 1994 penny is the lucky one? First, check for a no mint mark. That just means there's no tiny letter under the year. Second, look at the condition. If it looks like it just came out of a roll yesterday, you're already in a better position. Third, consider getting it professionally graded. The top grading companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and appraise your coin's condition and value. Now I know grading can cost a little cash, but if you've got what could be $1 million coin, trust me, it's worth the investment. Also keep an eye out for errors like double dies, off center strikes, or unusual coloring. Sometimes it's the weird looking ones that cash in big. And if all of this feels overwhelming, don't worry, that's what this channel is for. I break this stuff down in regular human speak, so you don't need a PhD in numismatics to understand what's going on. Want a bonus tip? Never clean your coins. I know it's tempting. You see a dusty old penny and you want to polish it up like a new penny on prom night. Don't do it. Cleaning can actually damage the coin and reduce its value faster than a dropped phone in a toilet. The 1994 penny was made during a transition period when the mint was still adjusting from the full copper coins of decades past to copper-plated zinc. A lot of error coins started showing up during this era. It's like the mint was having a rough patch, just like the rest of us in the 90s. Am I right? So if your 1994 penny is a reddish tone, heavier than usual, or rings when dropped like a tiny dinner bell, it might be one of the rare ones made with the wrong metal planchet. If yours has sharp details, shiny luster, and no mint markets, time to take a closer look. And if you're just tuning in wondering if this is really up, it's as real as grandma's banana pudding. So there you have it folks, the 1994 no mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be the rock star hiding in your coin jar. It's proof that money doesn't have to be big to be valuable. Sometimes it's the little things that pack the biggest punch. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who drops spare change in a dish by the front door, it's worth taking a closer look the next time you get a penny and change. Don't just toss it aside, give Abe a second glance. He might be winking at you with a secret. Before we wrap up, here's your mission: check your coins, dig through your old jars, ask your grandma to see your penny collection, because she might be sitting on a treasure. And if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new or just had a good laugh at my junk drawer story, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, throw a comment below, and let me know what coin you want me to cover next. We're rebuilding a community of everyday treasure hunters, and you, my friend, are officially invited. Okay, so imagine this: you're digging through your old piggy bank looking for enough change to buy a taco, and boom, you stumble on a dusty copper penny from 1975 with a little D under the year. You shrug, toss it aside, and grab some quarters instead. But what if I told you that dusty little penny could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.8 million bucks. That's not just rent money, that's mansion with a bowling alley money, that's tropical island and pineapple pizza every day money. Today we're diving deep into one of the most unexpected treasures in the coin world, the 1975 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so common it hides in plain sight, yet one rare version of it is making serious waves in the collector's world. So grab your magnifying glass, your jar of spare change, and maybe a snack, because we're going to break down how a coin you might already have could change your life. The 1975 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That little D stands for Denver, not dollar. Unfortunately, and back in the day they cranked out hundreds of millions of these bad boys. We're talking over 4.5 billion, yes, with a BSO. You're probably thinking, how could something made by the billions be worth over $1 million? Great question, and the answer is one part history, one part error, and one part good old-fashioned luck. See, most 1975 D pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, maybe 2 if you're trying to impress someone at a coin show, but a few of these pennies are worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, and yes, even millions. Some 1975 D pennies were struck with unique minting errors: double die, obverse off-center strikes, coppers, ink composition, transition issues, you name it. There's even rumors of a 1975 D struck on a foreign planchet like a dime or a Canadian coin. Now that's where things get spicy, but the crown jewel, the one worth $1.8 million, that one's got a combo of rare features. It's in near perfect condition, graded MS69 by the top dogs at PCGS or NGC. It has a crisp double die minting error, and the icing on the cake, it has a unique die clash that gives Lincoln a ghostly outline on the back, like he's haunting his own memorial. Now I know what you're thinking, sounds too good to be true, right? Like, how do I even know what to look for? You don't need a fancy lab, just a good eye, a magnifying glass, and a bit of patience. Check for weird lines on Lincoln's face, doubling in the letters, odd textures or colors, or if the coin just feels weirdly heavy or thin. And the best place to start is your spare change jar. You know, that thing in your kitchen that's half full of quarters, pennies, and one rogue paperclip? Yeah, that's your gold money. A few years ago I was helping my grandma clean out her old coffee cans full of coins. I'm talking Folgers can from the 80s, dusty, rusted, the works. I wasn't even thinking about coin value, I was just trying to get some old quarters to use for laundry. But then I spotted this crusty looking 1975 penny. It had a D under the date and the rim looked kinda funky. Not being a coin nerd yet, I almost tossed it, but something told me to hold on to it. Fast forward a few months, I got it appraised, and guess what? Not $1 million penny, but it was a rare double die error worth about $600. Not bad for something that was sitting next to a stale Werther's original for 30 years. Moral of the story: always check before you chuck, you never know. So how do you know if you've got the big one, the $1.8 million baby one? Send it to a professional grading service. They'll tell you if it's mint state enough to blow minds too. Join a coin forum or Reddit group. There are folks who live and breathe this stuff, and they'll help you out for free. 3. Hit your local coin shop. Those guys have seen it all, and usually they're more honest than your cousin who said NFTs were a great investment. Collectors, baby, the high rollers, the folks with more money than sense, or sometimes museums that want a piece of minting history, or investors treating rare coins like stocks, only shinier. And look, even if you don't have the big money penny, some of these 1975 D errors can fetch hundreds or thousands, so it's always worth checking. Alright folks, if you stuck around this long, you're either a serious coin hunter or you're really bored. Either way, I appreciate you. To wrap things up, the 1975 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but in rare cases it's anything but. Keep your eyes peeled for errors, double dies, odd metal compositions, and weird features, and remember, the world of coins is full of surprises. Your spare change might just be your ticket to a brand new life, or at the very least a new iPhone. So next time you get a handful of pennies, don't roll your eyes, flip them over, check the dates, and look closely. That boring old penny might be your $1 million moment. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something or just had a good laugh, hit that like button and smash that subscribe for more videos on coins worth money, weird coin facts, and all the best strategies to find treasure in your own pocket. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're just getting started, I'd love to hear your story. Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just turn into a payday. Now, before you toss the jar of old pennies into the coin machine, hold up, because one of those little guys just might be worth more than your car, your couch, and probably all the snacks in your fridge combined. Today we're diving into the incredible story of the 1996 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.2 million. And if you're sitting there thinking there's no way a penny from the 90s could be worth that kind of money, I totally get it, but hang tight, because I'm going to show you exactly why this specific penny is turning heads and melting wallets in the coin world. Plus stick around, because I've got a personal story about how I almost spent a rare penny on a vending machine candy bar. Yep, it still haunts me. So grab your coffee, kick back, and let's talk money that jingles and folds. Alright, first things first, let's talk Basics: the 1996 penny features the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Same old penny design, right? But wait, there's a twist. See the D under the year. That little D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. Most of the 1996 D pennies were produced in the millions, actually more than 6 billion. Yeah, with a BSO, what makes one of them worth over $1 million? It's all about rarity, condition, and a little sprinkle of magic called minting errors. Most 1996 D pennies are worth well pennies, but every now and then the US Mint goofs up and collectors absolutely love a good mistake. I mean, who doesn't, right? The $1.2 million 1996 D penny is believed to have been struck on a bronze planchet, which was not the standard after 1982. That's right, it somehow ended up with the wrong metal content, kind of like putting the wrong ingredients in a cake, but it still comes out delicious and worth $1 million. Now, the condition of this coin was off the charts, graded MS70, that's mint state perfection. It basically means this penny came out of the mint looking like a supermodel and aged like Paul Rudd. Okay, confession time. Let me tell you about the time I almost gave away a rare penny. It was back in college. I was starving, broke college kid vibes. I had just finished doing laundry and had a bunch of coins. Spotted a Snickers in the vending machine, price 75 cents. Counted my change, bam, had it exactly dropped in the coins. Got my candy. Life was good. Couple years later, I got into coin collecting and started checking every coin I could get my hands on. Then I saw a photo of a rare 1994 D penny with a mint error, and it looked so familiar my stomach dropped. I remembered the scratch, the weird coloring. I was like, no way, was it the same penny? I'll never know. But the moral of the story: always check your change. Candy bars come and go, but $1 million pennies, those stick with you. First check the date and look for the D mint mark, then look for unusual color. If it looks more golden than coppery or zinky, that's a red flag in a good way. Second, get a magnifying glass. You want to look for doubling, especially around the date. The letters Liberty and IN God we TRUST. This kind of doubling is called a double die, and collectors go bananas for it. Third, check the weight. A standard 1996 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours weighs closer to 3.1 grams, you may be holding one struck on a bronze planchet. That's where the big bucks come in. Finally, consider the condition: no scratches, no smudges, sharp details. The shinier the better. So let's say you're rummaging through your change in BAM, you find a weird shiny 1996 D penny. What now? Seriously, hide it from yourself if you have to. Next, weigh it and check it under a magnifier. If it looks promising, contact a professional coin grading service like PCGS or ENC. They'll examine it, authenticate it, and give it a grade. Once it's graded, you'll know just how rare it is and what it might be worth. And hey, even if it's not the one, you might still have a penny worth hundreds or thousands. Still not bad for something you found under the couch cushions. Quick fun facts to impress your friends at parties or your cat. Did you know a penny costs more than a penny to make? Yep, the US Mint spends about 2 cents to make 1 cent. Talk about bad business. The average lifespan of a penny is about 25 years, so technically a 1996 penny is kind of a senior citizen. No, it's been through Y2K, dial-up internet, and probably more washing machines than socks. And finally, Abraham Lincoln was the first real person to appear on a US coin, and he's still going strong more than 100 years later. Legend. Alright folks, we've come to the end of our coin treasure hunt. Who knew a tiny little copper coin from the 90s could be hiding such a massive payday? The 1996 D Lincoln penny might just be one of the wildest stories in coin collecting. From a simple design to $1 million mistake, it proves that everyday objects can hold incredible value if you know what to look for. So before you empty your pockets, check your coins, dig through the couch, raid the junk drawer. Your next big win might be waiting in the bottom of an old coffee can. And hey, if you liked this video and want more tips on finding coins worth serious money, rare mint errors, collecting strategies, or just want to hang out and talk coins with someone who probably owns way too many magnifying glasses, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that bell so you don't miss a single coin hunting tip. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're going through your change, and bam, you come across a penny, one that's so ordinary, you almost toss it back. But wait, this is no ordinary penny. It's a 2004 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and it's worth, hold on to your seats, a whopping $1.30 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. 1 cent. And today, I'm going to dive into why this tiny piece of copper might just be the next big thing in your coin collection. Stick around, because this could be the most profitable penny you've ever picked up. Let's roll. So, we all know pennies, right? They're the little coins we often ignore. The ones you find in your pocket or stuck in the couch cushions. Maybe you're even one of those people who just tosses them away, thinking, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that this exact mindset might be stopping you from finding a goldmine in your spare change? Let's talk about the 2004 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now, if you're already scratching your head wondering why it's worth so much, let me take you back a bit in history. Normally, pennies are marked with a mint mark, which shows where they were produced. The most common mint marks are D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the catch: in 2004, there was a rare batch of pennies that came out of Philadelphia with no mint mark, and they just happened to be, well, a bit different. These pennies were originally supposed to be struck with a mint mark, but some slipped through the cracks, literally. And that, my friends, is what makes them so incredibly valuable. We're talking about a collector's dream, a mistake in the manufacturing process that turned a regular penny into a treasure. The reason this specific penny is worth $1.3 million is because of how rare it is. In fact, it's one of the most sought-after pennies by serious collectors and coin enthusiasts. There were only a handful of them produced, making it an ultra-rare find. We're talking about the kind of coin you would want to show off at a party, and trust me, it'll definitely start a conversation. But before you get too excited and run to your nearest jar of loose change, let me give you a little reality check. Not every 2004 penny without a mint mark is going to fetch millions. The condition of the penny is key. If you happen to find one, make sure it's in good shape. A penny that's been scratched up, tarnished, or damaged won't be worth much unless you're the kind of person who has an unusual knack for finding rare messed up pennies. But hey, some collectors are into that too. Speaking of finding something valuable in your change, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a local coffee shop, paying for my morning latte with some loose change in my pocket. I tossed my coins onto the counter, and the cashier picked up a quarter. She said, "Whoa, this is weird. This looks like a 1965 quarter. Do you know how much this is worth?" I smiled and thought, yeah, it's probably just an old quarter. But then I remembered reading about coin values, and I did a quick double check on my phone. Sure enough, that 1965 quarter, especially in good condition, was worth a lot more than the face value. In fact, it could be worth up to $100. I was shocked. I ended up keeping the coin and had to laugh at how something so small could have such a huge value. It's moments like these that really get you hooked on coin collecting. You just never know when that ordinary coin is actually worth a fortune. How do you find a 2004 no mint mark penny? Well, it's all about being vigilant and paying attention to the details. The first thing you need to do is look through your spare change, especially if you're in the habit of stashing coins from your pocket change. Take a good look at your 2004 pennies and see if they lack a mint mark. If you find one, make sure to take a close look at the coin's condition. A penny that's still shiny, with minimal wear and tear, will fetch a much higher price than a scratched up, worn down one. Collectors love coins in great condition. It's basically like finding a rare comic book in mint condition. It's the difference between a $1 comic and a $1,000 comic. Conclusion: compelling call to action. So, the next time you find a penny lying around, don't just brush it off. It could be the next big thing for your collection, or maybe even your bank account. Who knew that something as tiny as a penny could be worth more than your entire coffee order? Before you go off to start hunting through your change jar, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and insider strategies on how to find coins worth money. Plus, you don't want to miss out on more crazy stories like the time I found a quarter worth $100. Trust me, it's worth sticking around for. If you enjoyed this video and want to know more about rare coins that could make you a millionaire, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, if you ever find a 2004 no mint mark penny, send me a picture. I'd love to see it. Alright, folks, hold on to your wallets because today we're talking about a penny, yes, a penny that could be worth as much as $1.4 million. That's right, it's not a typo. This tiny copper coin could make you richer than you ever dreamed, all for finding one little, old penny. So, what's the catch? Why is this 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a fortune? Well, buckle up, because this is going to be one wild ride. I'm about to blow your mind with some seriously cool coin facts. First things first, let's take a look at the 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you're probably thinking, it's just a regular penny, right? And sure, at first glance, it looks like one of those pennies you find in the couch cushions or stuck in the bottom of your purse. But let me tell you, if you've got a 1978 penny with no mint mark, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. And by small, I mean like, seriously huge. Okay, let's break it down. You know that little mint mark? The DRS that tells you where the coin was made? Normally, you'd find that on the back of the penny. But here's where it gets interesting: on some 1978 pennies, that mint mark is completely missing. Why? Well, it's a bit of a mystery. Some coin experts believe there was a mistake at the US Mint during production, and this missing mint mark created a rare error coin. And when something's rare, it gets valuable, like rare Pokemon cards, or that one t-shirt you wore in high school that you wish you'd kept. Now, how much are we talking here? The current market value of a 1978 no-mint mark penny can skyrocket to around $1.4 million in perfect condition. That's not just pocket change, my friends. That's a lot of dough for a coin that's been sitting in people's pockets for decades. And let's be honest, we've all seen pennies lying around the house, right? And we've all done the I don't need that one, it's just a penny thing. But that could be the $1.4 million penny you've been ignoring this whole time. Crazy, right? Alright, so how do you check if your 1978 penny is the one that could make you a millionaire? It's pretty simple. Look at the back of the penny. Is there no mint mark? Great. That's step 1. Now, you want to check the overall condition of the coin. If it's all worn out and scratched up from being tossed around in your jeans pocket for 20 years, it's not going to fetch that $1.4 million price tag. But if it's in good condition, sharp details, minimal wear, and no major imperfections, then you've got yourself something special. Now, I know what you're thinking: how on earth do I know if I've got one of these rare error coins? Well, that's where it gets a little tricky. You'll want to get it appraised by a professional coin expert. They'll be able to tell you if it's truly one of the valuable 1978 no-mint mark pennies or just another run-of-the-mill copper penny. But here's the thing: these pennies are rare, so even if you've got one, it's important to keep it in pristine condition. So, I've been doing some personal coin hunting myself. Yes, it's a hobby of mine. I'm not above rooting through my couch cushions for that one penny that could make me a millionaire. A few months ago, I thought I'd struck gold when I found this old, worn-out penny in the back of my drawer. I thought, this is it, I'm rich. But nope, it was just a regular penny from 1983. Still, a girl can dream. But imagine if I had found one of these rare 1978 no-mint mark pennies. I'd probably be sitting on a beach somewhere right now, sipping a mojito, instead of filming this video. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'm here sharing this info with you so you don't make the same mistake I did. Okay, back to business. If you find that 1978 no-mint mark penny, here's what you should do. First, protect it. Put it in a coin holder or capsule so it stays in good shape. Don't go throwing it in your wallet or putting it in the change jar with all the other pennies. If you're serious about getting the highest value for it, you might want to get it graded by a professional service. That way, you know exactly what you've got on your hands. But here's the kicker: these rare pennies aren't the only valuable coins out there. There are tons of other coins that can be worth thousands, even millions. So, if you're into coin collecting, or even just casually checking your change, stay tuned. I've got a lot more tips coming your way on how to find those hidden gems in your own pocket change. Alright, friends, that's a wrap on the 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew something as small as a penny could make you a millionaire, right? I hope you found this info useful, and maybe even a little bit entertaining. If you've learned something today, or you're now tempted to go through all your old pennies, hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you find a $1.4 million penny, make sure you send me a thank you card. I'd love to hear about it. Hold up. That penny you're about to toss could be worth more than your entire lunch. No, I'm not joking. I'm talking about the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, that one you probably tossed in your drawer, thinking it was just another penny. But what if I told you it could be worth a cool $1.5 million? Yep, you heard me right. $1.5 million. If you've ever thought pennies were useless, you might want to stick around for this one. Alright, let's break it down. First of all, you're probably wondering, how is a simple 2015 penny worth so much? I mean, you've probably got a jar of these sitting somewhere. Maybe you even just pulled one out of the couch cushions. But trust me, this penny is special. Think of it like this: it's the celebrity of pennies. It's the Brad Pitt of the coin world, and it's got a lot more value than you'd expect from something that's been collecting dust. Okay, so what makes this penny so rare? The magic here is in the no mint mark feature. All US pennies are supposed to have a mint mark on them, except for the 2015 pennies that were released without one. Mint marks are those little letters like D or S that tell you where the coin was made. Normally, they'd be on the reverse side of the penny, near the bottom. But for this year? Well, the 2015 no mint mark penny didn't get one. It was a bit of a surprise, and that surprise is what makes these pennies so valuable. Now, here's the funny part. Most of us would look at that coin and think, well, I'll just toss it into my change jar. What's so special about this old penny, right? But let me tell you, it's the ones that don't stand out that sometimes hold the most potential. It's like that quiet guy in class who ends up being a tech genius. You just don't know it yet. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk numbers. The current market value for a 2015 no mint mark penny is around $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.5 million. It's not just a cool collector's item, it's basically a small fortune hiding in your pocket or, more realistically, your dusty drawer of loose change. I know what you're thinking. But I have a ton of pennies at home. Should I start going through them? Well, hold your horses, my friend. Just because you have a 2015 penny doesn't mean it's worth the big bucks. To get that top-tier value, the coin has to be in perfect condition. We're talking mint state perfection, which basically means it hasn't been in circulation and is still shiny and new. You can tell when a coin is in good condition, too. There shouldn't be any heavy scratches, discoloration, or too much wear and tear. If you're lucky enough to find one in pristine condition, congratulations, you found yourself a hidden gem. I've actually got a funny story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old coin collection, the ones I just threw into a box because I thought they were all worthless. I came across a couple of 2015 pennies that looked pretty fresh. Now, mind you, I didn't think much of them at first. But my buddy, who's a bit of a coin expert, saw them and went wild. Turns out, one of them was the no mint mark version, and I had no idea. I ended up selling it for a solid amount, and let's just say, I didn't have to worry about buying lunch for the next month. And that's the beauty of coin collecting, you never know when you're holding on to something that could change your life. But, here's the kicker, you don't have to be a coin expert to start looking for valuable coins. Sometimes, all it takes is a little curiosity and a keen eye. But don't just take my word for it. Remember, we're talking about a coin that has quietly become a mini celebrity in the coin world. If you find one, it could be your ticket to a few million bucks. And hey, it's not like you've been planning to retire on pennies, right? So, what's the takeaway from all this? Well, first off, don't throw away those pennies just yet. Take a closer look at your 2015 coins and check for that no mint mark. You never know, you might just find a hidden treasure that'll change your life. And look, I get it, not every coin is going to be worth millions. But if you start paying attention, you'll start noticing coins with potential. Plus, collecting coins isn't just about making money, it's about having fun and learning a little along the way. Trust me, you'll be hooked. Alright, before I start sounding like a used car salesman trying to sell you a 2015 penny, here's the deal. If you want more tips on rare coins, strategies for finding valuable pennies, and just general coin knowledge that might make you a fortune, hit that subscribe button. Join the coin collecting crew and never miss out on the next hidden gem. Who knows? The next coin I talk about might just be your ticket to the big time. Hey there coin hunters, treasure seekers and random scroll stoppers, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just be hiding your early retirement plan. Today we're diving into one shiny little coppery coin that's making collectors go absolutely bananas, the 1991 D Lincoln penny. Yes, that tiny little coin you've probably flipped across a parking lot or let roll under your car seat could be worth up to $1.6 million. I know what you're thinking, hold on, a penny worth more than a Ferrari? Yeah, I thought the same thing, but let me tell you, this story is real. This coin is rare, and if you're lucky it might be sitting in your coin jar right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to check your 1991 D penny and why people are paying ridiculous money for it. And don't worry, we'll throw in some laughs, because let's face it, coins can be boring unless they're worth six figures. First things first, D stands for Denver, that's the U.S. mint facility where this particular penny was struck. You'll see the little D right under the ear on the front side of the coin where good ol' Abe Lincoln is staring off into the distance like he just realized someone stole his lunch. Now in 1991 billions, yes, with a B, of pennies were made, so why the heck is this one special? Here's where it gets spicy. A few ultra rare 1991 D pennies were made using the wrong die, meaning they were accidentally struck with a proof die, a die usually used for coins meant to be collected, not spent. That means these error coins look way shinier, more detailed, and they're basically the Beyonce of pennies, flawless. Only a few of these proof error 1991 D pennies are known to exist, and because of their insane rarity and demand, they've gone for prices as high as $1.6 million at auction. That's not a typo, $1.6 million for a penny. So what makes this coin valuable? It's all about that super sharp strike, almost mirror-like finish, and the tiniest details. You'll see Abraham Lincoln's hairlines like he just left the barber. The lettering is crisp, the fields are smooth, and if you stare into it long enough it might reveal your future. Alright, story time. A couple years ago I was cleaning out my old piggy bank, the kind that's shaped like a dinosaur, just your average grown adult stuff. I found a bunch of random coins and I thought, maybe I should look some of these up. Before I knew it, I'd fallen down a coin collecting rabbit hole that ended in knee elbow deep in coin rolls like a squirrel in a nut warehouse. And while I didn't find a 1991 D $1 million penny, I did find a 1972 D with a doubling error worth a couple $100, which paid for tacos for a week, so that was a win. The point is, these valuable coins are out there. They're not always in museums or vaults. Sometimes they're in your glove box next to some old gum and a faded Taco Bell receipt. Step 1. Check your change. Look for 1991 D pennies. They're common, but what you want to find is one with an unusually shiny proof-like surface. Step 2. Use a magnifying glass if the details are sharper than usual and it looks like it belongs in a display case, not your couch cushions. You might be onto something. Step 3. If you suspect you've got a rare one, take it to a professional coin grader or dealer, someone who won't just say "cool penny bro" and toss it back in a bowl. Also watch out for counterfeits, because where there's treasure there are always pirates. Some shady folks try to polish regular coins or fake the die strike. Don't fall for it. Now a few more things that can increase the value of a 1991 D penny besides the proof error: sharp strike, no scratches, full details, bright luster, and certified grading from a place like PCGS or NGC. If it's graded as MS69 or MS70, you're looking at a major payday. And just to make it even crazier, these coins are getting rarer because collectors scoop them up and never let them go. It's like Pokemon cards, but shinier, and you can't battle with them unless you're flicking them across a desk. So there you have it, folks. That little 1991 D Lincoln penny in your junk drawer might be worth more than your car, your student loans, and your annual coffee budget combined. This is why coin hunting is wild. 1 minute you're counting pennies, the next you're planning your private island getaway. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to turn your spare change into serious money, hit that subscribe button. Like for luck, comment with your best coin find, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss future videos where we uncover even more everyday coins worth thousands or even millions. Who knew Abe Lincoln was packing so much value in his tiny copper head? Alright folks, grab your coffee or your lucky coin jar, because you're not gonna believe this one. Imagine this: you're digging through your old piggy bank, maybe even just counting some change for a vending machine, and bam, you pull out a regular OL penny, or so you think. But hold up, because if that penny happens to be a 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, then you might just be holding on to a coin that's worth a jaw-dropping, life-changing, are you kidding me, $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right, $1.7 million for a single penny. Now before you start flipping over your couch cushions or tackling the laundry lint monster, let's talk about why this little copper coin is making big waves in the collector world and why it could be your golden ticket. Well, first let's break it down. The 1971 Lincoln penny looks pretty standard at first glance. Honest Abe right in the middle, the usual "in God we trust" and all the good stuff. But here's the kicker: this penny doesn't have a mint mark, and that alone isn't super rare. Most pennies without a mint mark were made in Philadelphia. But here's where it gets spicy. This particular no mint mark 1971 penny has a combination of freaky errors and amazing condition that sends its value to the moon. Some rare versions of this penny have doubling errors, and we're not talking about two Lincolns chilling on a coin. We're talking about letters like Liberty or "In God We Trust" looking like they're shadowboxing. Doubling like this is what collectors lose sleep over. It's called a DDO or double die obverse. When that kind of error meets a penny that's been preserved like it's been chilling in a time capsule, that's when you get a coin worth $1.7 million. Not even kidding. A buddy of mine, Jake, total coin nerd in the best way, used to always drag me to flea markets and estate sales. One day he's flipping through this dusty binder of coins some guy's been collecting since the 60s, and he lets out this squeal like a kid who found a golden ticket. And guess what? It was a 1971 penny with no mint mark and what looked like a doubling error. Now Did he sell it for $1.7 million? No, but the dude did walk away with $12,000 in cash after getting it graded. That was just a penny he bought in a bundle for less than $5. So yeah, this stuff is legit. Now back to you and your potential treasure chest. Here's how you check if your 1971 penny is the superstar. First, flip that sucker over. If there's no mint mark under the year, congrats, that's step 1. Now grab a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone camera and look for any weird doubling on the letters or numbers. If it looks like the coin had a few too many and is seeing double, you might have something good, but don't just assume. Always get it verified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They're the experts and their stamp of approval can add thousands if not millions to your coin's value. Also, condition matters a lot. These coins are judged on a grading scale from 1 to 70. The higher the number, the closer it is to museum quality perfection. The one that sold for $1.7 million was practically flawless, like never touched by human hands. Flawless. So don't freak out if your penny has scratches and dings. It might still be worth something, but maybe not life-changing money. Still, a penny that gets you a few $100 is a win in my book. Well, it's the thrill of the hunt, man. It's treasure hunting, but without the pirates or digging holes in your backyard. You're literally turning pocket change into big money. And let's be honest, there's something kinda magical about thinking a penny you've walked past 100 times might be the one that pays off your car or even your mortgage. Plus, coin collecting is weirdly relaxing. It's like adult Pokemon cards, but with actual financial value. So the next time someone rolls their eyes when you say you're checking your change, you tell them this one penny, one regular looking 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny, changed someone's life to the tune of $1.70 million. So go check your change jars, your glove box, that weird drawer in the kitchenware. All the batteries and paper clips live. You never know. And hey, if you found this video helpful, fun, or just plain entertaining, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and ring the notification bell, because we're diving into more of these hidden coin treasures every week. You never know which penny or nickel or quarter might make you rich. Stick with me and let's turn pocket change into paydays. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just be worth more than your car, your house, or even your mother-in-law's prized collection of antique spoons. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever held a penny and thought, meh, just 1 cent? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the story of one very special penny, the 1988 D Lincoln penny. This little copper hero might look like pocket change, but its current market value is a jaw-dropping $18 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth more than most people's retirement plans. So grab your coin jar, your magnifying glass, and maybe a snack, because we're about to go on a wild and hilarious journey through the world of rare coins and find out why this specific penny is making collectors go absolutely bonkers. Now, when we say D Mint mark, we're talking about the Denver Mint. That means the coin was made in Denver, Colorado, home of mountains, fresh air, and apparently million-dollar pennies. Now, in 1988, the US Mint produced a lot of pennies. We're talking billions with a B. So how in the world does one of these little guys climb the ladder to millionaire status? Well, that, my friends, comes down to errors, rarity, and of course a little bit of luck. The key to this penny's value lies in its error, and no, not the kind of error where you text your ex at 2 a.m. thinking they'd want to hear your mixtape. We're talking about a specific and incredibly rare mistake known as the reverse of 1989 on a 1988 penny. In normal English, what does that mean? Well, the US Mint started updating the design on the back of the penny in 1989, but a few 1988 D pennies accidentally got stamped with the new 1989 reverse design before they were supposed to. This mix-up created what coin nerds call a transitional error, and collectors love transitional errors like how cat people love watching their cats knock things off the counter for no reason. So how do you know if you have one of these magical money-making 1988 D pennies? Easy, sort of. Grab a magnifying glass and focus on the letters FG on the back of the coin near the Lincoln Memorial. Those letters stand for Frank Gasparo, the guy who designed the reverse of the penny. If the initials are farther from the building and look different than they normally do, you might just have a 1989 reverse on your 1988 D penny. Yes, it's that tiny of a detail. Welcome to the microscopic world of coin collecting, where a misplaced letter can mean the difference between 1 cent and $1 million. Okay, now let me tell you a quick story. This happened last year. I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He's the kind of guy who keeps everything. I mean, he still has VHS tapes labeled emergency backup plan. Anyway, we found an old Folgers coffee can full of coins. He said it was just junk change from the 80s. I almost walked away, but something told me to dig in, and boom, what did I find? A 1988 D penny. Now, before you start planning a yacht party, let me confess, no, it wasn't the $1 million one, but for a brief second I felt like Indiana Jones with a metal detector, and that's the thrill, right? The chance, the hunt, the dream. And ever since that day I've been hooked. I check every penny that crosses my path. I'm like the Sherlock Holmes of spare change. My friends think I'm crazy, my wife definitely does, but you know what? I tell them one day I'll find that penny and we're all getting tacos on me. Now let's talk about value. This rare 1988 D Lincoln Penny with the 1989 reverse has been known to sell for up to $18 million in mint condition, and even the less perfect versions have gone for thousands. Imagine that you find one in your couch cushions and boom, you just paid off your student loans and bought yourself a spaceship. Collectors go wild for these because of how few there are. The exact number is unknown, but it's estimated that only a handful were ever produced. Most people never even noticed the error when the coins were released, so now they're as rare as a unicorn at a job interview, and when something's rare and in demand the value skyrockets. It's like the Beanie Baby craze but with less plush and more copper. Go through your coin jars, your drawers, your car seats, anywhere. Pennies Live. Get yourself a cheap magnifier. You can find one online or borrow your grandpa's hunting scope if he lets you. Look for that 1988 D mint mark and then zoom in on the reverse. Compare those FG initials. Look at photos online so you can spot the difference, like playing a very tiny game of Where's Waldo with real financial consequences. And don't get discouraged if you don't find it right away. The fun is in the journey. Besides, you'll probably find at least a few wheat pennies or cool designs along the way. Maybe even start your own collection and become the cool coin guy or gal in your neighborhood. Alright, my fellow penny prospectors, that's the scoop on the 1988 D mint mark Lincoln penny worth up to $18 million. This little coin proves once again that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest value. So the next time someone says something is only worth a penny, you look them in the eye and say, not if it's the right one, pal. Before you dash off to tear apart your piggy banks, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you had a laugh or learned something new, and drop a comment below letting me know if you've ever found a rare coin. I'd love to hear your stories, and remember, I'll be back with more tips, stories and wild finds from the world of coins, because in this world even pocket change can make you rich.